Hello everyone, welcome to the Tkinter Hub. And welcome to Student Management and Registration Project. First of all, dear subscribers, I am so sorry for too much late video. And I appreciate your patience. In this video we will complete this project, and I am very happy that we are completing this project. And dear subscribers, I have divided this video into two sections, because this video length was very long, so I have decided to divide this video into two sections. This is section A, which you are watching, and the section B video will upload soon after this video. Here in the section A video, we will create the Find Student page interface and functionalities, which will help to admin to find student and get their information. So let's start this video. Here is admin dashboard function. And in the previous video, we had completed work with home page. So here I will collapse the code of home page. Collapsing code will not actually delete your code, it will just fold your code in a blocks for make work easy with large lines of codes. Here I will start to create Find Student page function. In the Find Student page function, I will create a frame for Find Student page. And we will put the Find Student page frame in the pages frame. Here I am creating a label. Now we will call this function for display Find Student page. Now let's create other stuff. Here I am creating a label. Now here I will create a combo box for select search filter. For create a combo box widget, we need to import Tkinter TTK module. The Tkinter TTK module provides TK themed widgets. Let's import the Tkinter TTK module. Here I will import Combobox widget from TTK module, and also I will import Treeview widget, which we will use in Find Student page, for display students' data. Now let's use TTK Combobox widget. In the read-only state, Combobox will only allow to select from only given options, it will not allow to write something in Combobox. The values argument will these options, which we will show in the Combobox for select. The Combobox options we will define in list form. Here I will define options list. These values we will add in Combobox options. Now we will add this list in Combobox values argument. By adding this list in Combobox values argument, this list items will show in Combobox options. And also I will set selection of Combobox. Initially ID option will be selected in Combobox. We need to decrease the font size of Combobox, because it's looking little bigger. Now it's looking perfect. Now let's create other stuff. Here I am creating a entry box. Here I am creating a label. Now here we will create a Treeview widget, where we will display students' data. We have already imported Treeview widget from TTK, when we was importing Combobox. Here Treeview widget created. Now we will define the columns of Treeview widget. Here I have defined the columns in tuple form. Basically here I have told to the Treeview widget that I want to create these named columns. Now let's if I run this program. Now here you can see, here in the top of Treeview widget, these boxes created. Basically these boxes are headings of the columns, which we have defined. Now let's set the names to these columns headings. Using Treeview heading method, we will set the name in the column heading box. Using the column name, we will set the name in the column heading. Here I have put the name of column, in which column heading I want to set the name. In the text argument, I will enter the name which we want to display in the ID column heading. Here I will set the name of the ID column heading, the ID number. And here I will set the anchor of the ID column heading to the west position. Basically the anchor argument will set column heading text position. Here is few examples of columns headings with different anchor positions. Similarly we will set the name in the other columns headings. By targeting the column name, we will set the name in the column heading. Now let's if I run this program. Here you can see, name is added in the column heading, but here is a column heading is showing without name. Basically this is a phantom column of Treeview widget, like a default column of Treeview widget. But I will tell you how we will hide this phantom column, but before we will set the width of these columns. Now let's set the width of these columns. Using the Treeview widget column method, we will set the width of column. Basically the column method will take a column name argument, in which column we want to set width or other properties. Here I will set the width to the ID column. Here I will set the width 50, and also here I will set the anchor of the ID column to the west position. Basically the anchor argument will specify the position of the displaying data in the Treeview widget columns. Here is the few examples of the column anchor with the different anchors positions. Similarly we will set these properties to the other columns. By targeting the column name, we will set the width and anchor to the column. We have set the width and anchor to these columns, but this phantom column is disturbing to these other columns. Now we will hide this phantom column, which is a default column of Treeview widget. Let's see. Using Treeview column method, we will hide Treeview default column. The Treeview default column name is #0. By targeting the column name, we will hide the Treeview default column. By setting the column stretch value no, and the width 0, the Treeview default column will hide. Now you can see, the columns are looking perfect. Now we will create these last two buttons. We have completed the interface of Find Student page. Now we will create the functionality of Find Student page, which will help to admin, for find any student's information. Now I want to show you a demonstrate program of the Find Student page, with functionalities. Basically this program have all functionalities of the Find Student page, so before creating the functionalities in our current program, I want to show you that how the Find Student page functionalities will work. First here is Find by option. Using this Find by option, admin can find to any student in these different ways. Let's find a student by ID number. Here is a entry box. Basically in this entry box, we will enter information for selected Find by option. Here I have selected Find by option ID, then here I will enter a student ID number. Here I have entered a ID number, then here you can see, a student record is found, for the entered ID number. Now let's find student by name. Here I will enter a student name. Here I have entered student name Smith. Then here you can see, a Smith student record is found. Now let's find students by class name. Here I will enter class name, 12th grade class. Now here you can see, some students' records are showing, because these students are in 12th grade class. Now let's find students by gender. Here I have entered the gender type female. Now here you can see, some students' records are showing, because these all students are females. And these all students are male. Now I will show you another functionality of the Find Student page. Look at here, here is a button, and right now it's in disabled state, it's unclickable. When I will select any record from this Treeview, then here you can see, this button become active. By clicking this button, I can generate student card of this selected student, let's see. Here you can see, student card generated, of the selected student. And from here, I can save and print this generated student card. Now let me show you example, by generating these other students' card. And also here is a clear button. By clicking this clear button, the showing results will clear. Now we will start to create these all functionalities in our current program. In the find student function, we will create functionality, which will find students' records from database. Here I will check a if condition. Basically here we will check which type of option is selected from find by options. If the ID option is selected from find by options, then here we will find student by ID number. Here we will use this fetch student data function for find student data from database. Here I will write a query, which will fetch student details by ID number. These student details we will fetch from database, ID number, name, class, gender. Here I will write SQL condition, which will fetch these student details, where ID number will equals to the given ID number, which will entered by admin in this input search entry box. Here I will put the entered value of the search input entry box. So this query will fetch student these details from database, where admin entered ID number will match to the student ID number. Here I will get and print the fetched data of this query. Now let's see how we will use this function. Basically we will use the find student function through this search input entry box. Here I will bind an event to this entry box, which will call back to the find student function when something we will enter in the search input entry box. The entry box key release event will call back to the given function when something will enter in the entry box. In our case, the key release event will call back to the find student function when we will enter something in the search input entry box. Now let's test this program. Here is an error occurs. Actually mistakenly I have made a mistake in event name. Here in the key release name, I don't need to add this dash symbol between key and release. K of the key, and R of the release should be in capital case, without any space or any symbol. Now when I will enter something into this entry box, then the key release event will call back to find student function. And here you can see, this empty list is printing. This empty list is printing from find student function. Actually this is the fetched data of the query. Fetched data is printing empty, because this entered ID number is not matching to any student ID number. Here I have entered a correct ID number. Then here you can see, A student details fetched from database, because the entered ID number is matched. Now we will fetch student data by these other find by options. Here I will check elif condition. Here if the find by option is selected name, then here we will execute this query for find student details by name. For find student details by name, here we will make a small changes in this query. Here we will target name column, and here we will use SQL LIKE operator. The LIKE operator is used to search for a specified pattern in a column. Here we will use a search pattern with LIKE operator. Here I will add a %sign in the beginning of the search input, and in the end of search input. This is a pattern of LIKE operator. Basically this pattern will fetch student details, where search input name will contain. So this query will find student details by name. Let's try to find student details by name. Here you can see, I have entered only single S word. Then here you can see, two students' details are fetched. Because in the both students' name, the S word is containing, so that, these students' details are showing. Now here I will enter a student name. Here you can see, entered student name details are showing. Let's enter another student's name. Now we will fetch student data by these other find by options. Here I will check another elif condition. If the find by option is selected class, then here we will execute this query for fetch students details by class. Here I will set the condition in the SQL query, where class column is equals to search input. So this query will find students details by class name. And similarly we will fetch students details by gender. Let's try to find students details by class. Here I have entered 12th class, then here you can see, some students details are fetched. Now let's try to find students details by gender. Here I have entered gender male. Then here you can see some students' details are fetched. Now we will display the student fetched details in the Treeview widget. Here we are checking for all find by options, and we are fetching students' data for selected find by option. Here we will check a if condition. In the if condition, we will check the student's fetched details. We will check the found data variable, because in the found data variable, we'll have stored students' fetched details. In case the fetched data is empty, for example, sometime if the entered search input, not found in database, then the fetched data will return empty. And we need to know that the search input results is found or not. So here we will check if the found data variable is not equal to an empty list. If this condition will true, then means the found data is not empty, means the search results are found. Then we will insert the fetched details in Treeview widget, for display search results. And also you can check this condition, like this, if found data, and it will work same, for check found data variable is not an empty list, and its recommended way for check, if any variable is not empty. And here the PyCharm editor shows me a warning, about the found data variable, that the local variable found data might be referenced before assignment. Let's solve this warning. For solve this warning, simply here we will define the found data variable, here in the above, of these conditions. Here if the found data variable will not empty, then we will insert the fetched details in the Treeview widget. For insert the search results in the Treeview widget, here I will iterate the student's details, from found data variable, through for loop. Here in the for loop, we will insert the search result in the Treeview widget. Using Treeview widget insert method, we will insert the search results in Treeview widget. The insert method will take some arguments, for insert items in Treeview widget. The first argument is parent. The parent argument will specify that where we want to insert the item, in the parent item, or in the root level. And here is the examples of the parent item, and the root level item in the Treeview widget. So obviously we will insert the search results in the root level, because we have not created any parent or child columns in the Treeview widget. For insert the search results in the root level, simply here in the parent argument we will set the value a empty string. An empty string means, the data is inserted at the root level. Now the second argument is index. The index argument will specify the position of item in Treeview. For example, the 0 index will place the item at the beginning. Here I will set the index value end. The end value will place items one by one in Treeview. Now the third and last argument is values. The values argument will take the actual data, which we want to display in the Treeview widget. Here we will pass the student's details to values argument, which we are iterating in the for loop. Now let's test this program. Here I will enter a student ID number for find details. Here you can see, the search result is displaying in the Treeview widget. Now let's if I enter another student ID number. Here you can see, the search result is displaying, for the entered ID number. But here the previous search result is still displaying. Let's if I enter again another ID number. Same problem again, the two previous search results is still displaying, with the new search result. The simple solution of this problem is, we need to delete current inserted search results from Treeview widget, before insert new search results. Let's solve this problem. Here we are inserting the search results in the Treeview widget, so here before we will delete current displaying search result from the Treeview widget. Here in the for loop through, we will get all inserted items from the Treeview widget, using Treeview getChildren method. And then we will delete the each of items from the Treeview widget, using the Treeview delete method. Here the Treeview widget current displaying results will clear, and then new search results will insert. Now let's if I enter another student ID number. Now here you can see, the previous search result is cleared, and only new search result is displaying. Now let me show you another problem. Here a search result is displaying for entered ID number. Now if I remove some digits from the entered ID number, then here you can see, the search result is still displaying, because this ID number is not complete, and this ID number will not match to any student ID number. After getting the search result, if I will modify the search input, then the showing result should affect. Let's see how we will do this. Here we are checking this if condition, for check if the found data is not empty. If this condition will false, then means the search results is not found. So here we will add this else condition. If the search result will not found, then here in the else condition, we will clear the Treeview widget displaying data. In this else condition, the search result will clear, if the search input modified, and if the modified search input will not found in database. Here you can see, the search result is displaying, for the entered ID number. Let's if I remove a digit from the entered ID number. Here you can see, only one digit I have removed from the entered ID number. Then here you can see, the search result is not displaying, because the modified ID number is not matching to any student ID number. Now let's if I correct the ID number. Now search result is displaying, because the ID number is matched to a student ID number. Now we will talk about that how we will generate the student card of selected student, by clicking this button. First we will set the disabled state of this button, because when we will select any student record, then this button will active. Here is the Generate Student Card button. By setting the button state value disabled, the button will appear disable. Now you can see, Generate Student Card button is disabled. Now let's see how we will active the Generate Student Card button when we will select any student record. Basically we will bind a event to the Treeview widget. When we will select any student record from this Treeview widget, then through event we will set active state of the Generate Student Card button. Here is Treeview widget. Let's bind the event to the Treeview widget. Here we will bind a virtual event to the Treeview widget. Basically the Treeview select event will call back when an item is selected from the Treeview widget. When an item will select in the Treeview widget, then using the lambda function, we will set the state normal of the Generate Student Card button, for make button appear active. By setting the state value normal, the button will appear active. Let's test it. Here you can see, the Generate Student Card button is disabled. Let's if I select student record from the Treeview widget. And now you can see, the Generate Student Card button become active when I select record from the Treeview widget. Now let's see how we will generate the student card of the selected student. For generate the student card of the selected student, we need the selected student ID number. Now we will get the selection from the Treeview widget, for get the selected student ID number. In the generate student card function, we will generate the student card of the selected student, but before we need to get the selection from the Treeview widget. The Treeview widget selection method will return the identifier of the selected item from the Treeview widget. And also we will print the identifier of the selected item from the Treeview widget. And also we will add this function to the Generate Student Card button. When the Generate Student Card button will press, then the selected item identifier will print. Now let's if I select a item from the Treeview widget, and then if I press the Generate Student Card button. Here you can see, the selected item identifier printed. This is a unique identifier of the selected item. Basically using this identifier, we can get the values of the selected item, or we can modify the values of the selected item, or we can delete the selected item. In our case, we will get the values of the selected item, using the selected item identifier. Let's see how we will get the values of the selected item, using the selected item identifier. Using the Treeview item method, we can retrieve or modify the information about an item in the Treeview widget. So we will retrieve the values of the selected item using this method. The item method will take two arguments. The first argument is item. In the item argument, we will pass the identifier of the item, which we want to target. So here we will pass the selected item identifier. And the second argument is option. In the option argument, we will specify the information which we want to retrieve. So we want to retrieve the values of selected item, here I will specify values. And also here I will print the retrieve values of the selected item, which will return by the item method. Now let's if I select a item from the Treeview widget, and then if I press the Generate Student Card button. Here you can see, the selected item values are printed. Let's if I select another item. You can see, another selected item values are printed. So we need the ID number of the selected student, simply we will slice the ID number from this tuple. Simply here we will slice the ID number from the returned tuple. Here you can see, now we can get selected student ID number. Now I will explain to you that how we will generate the student card using the selected student ID number. If you remember that in the part 11 video, we had completed work with student dashboard. And in the part 10 video, we had created the dashboard student card page. Here in the dashboard student card page, we are generating the student card of the logged in student, using the logged in student ID number. The same case as here we want to generate the student card of the selected student, using the selected student ID number. So we will use the same functionality, which we had created, for generate the logged in student card. So we will use the dashboard student card page functionality, into find student page, for generate the student card, using the selected student ID number. Before move to the forward, here I will fold some functions code, because for now we don't need to touch these functions. Now I will go to the student dashboard function, for copy some code. Here is the student dashboard function. First here I will copy these lines of code from the student dashboard function. And then here we will paste this code. Basically here we are fetching the student details and picture for place on student card. And also here we will put the selected student ID number, for fetch the selected student details and picture. Now here the selected student details and picture is ready to place on student card. Now we will copy some code from the dashboard student card page. Here is the dashboard student card page function. Here I will copy these lines of code. Basically this code will place the selected student details and picture on the student card. And also I will remove the spaces from this string variable. Basically here we are together the selected student details, for place the details on the student card. And also here the draw student card function, will place the selected student details and picture on a blank student card, and then it will return the student card image object. Now I will show you example, by displaying the student card image object, which will return from the draw student card function. The image object show method, will display the returned image object in a image form. Here you can see, the student card is displaying of the selected student. Now let's see, how we will display the student card, inside in the Find Student page. If you remember, that in the Part 6 video, we had created this student card page. Basically the student card page, will appear like a box, and the student card page will allow us to display a student card, and also it will give us options, for save the student card, and print the student card. Let's see how we will use the student card page, for display the selected student card. Here is the student card page function, which we had created in the Part 6 video. You can watch the Part 6 video again, for your revision. Basically the student card page function, will take a student card image object in argument, for display a student card. So here we will pass the selected student card image object, to the student card page function, for display the selected student card. Now let's test it. Now here you can see, the selected student card is displaying in the student card page. You can see, now we can generate the student card of the selected student. Now we will test the Save Student Card and the Print Student Card functionalities. Here you can see, the selected student card is saved successfully. Now let's test the Print Student Card functionality. Here you can see, the selected student card is opened in the Windows Print Pictures application, for print. So we have created the Generate Student Card functionality, which can generate the student card of the selected student. Now we will create the Clear Showing Results functionality. Basically by pressing the Clear button, the Treeview showing results will clear, and also the other things will reset. So we have completed work with the Generate Student Card function, so here I will fold the code of this function. Now let's start to work with the Clear Result function. First, in the Clear Result function, we will reset the value of the Find by option button. Here we will select the ID option to the Find by option button. And also we will clear the Treeview widget. And also we will clear the Search Input Entry box. And in the last we will set the disable state of the Generate Student Card button. Now let's add the Clear Result function to the Clear button. Here is the Clear button. Now let's if I click to the Clear button, and then here you can see, the showing result is cleared from the Treeview widget, and also other things are reset. And we have created the all functionalities of the Find Student page. And now I want to show you a problem in the Find Student page. But the following problem will not crash or stop operating to our program, but anyways, we will solve the problem. For show you the problem, here I will maximize the size of this window. Here I have select a student record, and then here I will generate the student card of the selected student. Here you can see, the student card is displaying, in the student card page. Now notice, when I will click to the close button of the student card page. You can see, when I click to the close button, then here you can see, the student login page lap around, in the admin dashboard page frame. Basically this problem occurs, when we have clicked to the student card page close button. But this is not an issue with the student card page, and not with their close button. Actually, this is a functionality of the student card page close button. If you want to know that why it's happening when we are clicking to the close button, then you must watch the part 7 video. Now let's see how we will make compatible the close button functionality for prevent to display the student login page in admin dashboard. Now we will make some changes in the student card page close button functionality, which will prevent to display the student login page in the admin dashboard. Here is the student card page close button function. In the close page function, we are destroying the student card page frame, and then we are updating the root window, and then after we are calling the student login page function. So we will make changes in the close page function when we will close the student card page from the admin dashboard, then only we will destroy the student card page. Here in the student card page function, we will take a optional argument called bypass login page. And also we will set the by default value false to the optional argument. Using this optional argument, we will prevent to display student login page in the admin dashboard. The default value of this optional argument is false when we will use the student card page function in the admin dashboard, then we will pass the true value to the optional argument. Now let's see how we will prevent to display student login page using the optional argument. Here in the close page function, we will check a if condition. Here after destroying the student card page frame, then here we will check a if condition. Here if the bypass login page optional argument value will false, then we will display the student login page. Now when the optional argument value will true, then the student login page will not display, because this if condition will false. Now when we will use the student card page function in the admin dashboard, then we will pass the true value to the optional argument, then the student login page will prevent to display. Now here in the student card page function, we will pass the true value to the bypass login page optional argument, which will prevent to display student login page in the admin dashboard. Now the student login page will not display when we will click to the close button in the student card page. Now notice, when I will click to the close button of the student card page. Now here you can see, the student login page is not displaying around in the admin dashboard when I click to the close button. So we have solved the problem. And we have completed work with the Find Student page. Now press subscribe button if you have not subscribed Tkinter Hub.